it's like, I'm flying into Reagan or whatever. It's like, this is home for me. DC is an interesting place. We're the capital of the strongest nation in the world, the United States. We have an amazing local culture. You also have a really strong international culture, right? Every country has an embassy or a consulate here. Then you have all the different universities, UDC, where I went to study, Howard, Georgetown, GW. So it creates a very interesting dynamic. Then you have local politics, you have the national politics, the president, the Congress, etc. So it makes it a very unique city that I think most places, they don't have what we have, right? And then you have a strong culture that makes DC unique, the Washingtonian, right?
Right.
Us Washingtonians, which is a culture that's been shaped over decades. So it's a beautiful city. I love it. I could never really imagine myself living anywhere else permanently.
Really?
DC's home. DC's home. I just love the place so much. It shaped me. It created me, and one day if I have a family, hopefully they'll be Washingtonians as well.
What would you like to see happen with DC? Where do you see opportunity?
What I'd love to see, a couple different things.
Okay.
One, we need a voice in Congress, right? It's a bit of a hypocrisy that we live under. We're supposed to be this nation of democracy and freedom and everyone having a voice at the table, but Washingtonians don't, right? We have 700,000 people who live here, pay taxes here, and have zero voice, zero input on national issues, international issues, and even stuff that affects us from the national level, that impacts local DC. So I'd hope that we can one day have a voice in that space. DC's going through, I would say, amazing changes too, right? The level of development that we've seen all over the city, we're starting to see it east of the river now. But then with that, right, there comes issues, right? There's issues of displacement. There's issues of economic opportunity for people who have lived here, who've grown up here. And so I'd hope that, we can figure out a way to bridge that disconnect and that gap with all the jobs that are created in DC, a city with a strong economy that really wasn't impacted by the last recession, right? It proves to how strong of a city we are. Our finances are good. But there's still that disconnect with the Washingtonian and the future opportunities that are being created. So a lot of that can be done with, government through the educational system. But, I'd love to see more Washingtonians become entrepreneurs, create our own opportunities, hire our own folks, and not be so dependent on other people to do it for us. And I think in DC, we're in a very unique place where we can do that and be successful.
Where do you think we start? Where do we start?
There's no one place you can start. I think it just has to happen simultaneously, right? So and people are doing it. There are people who are doing it. But education always seems to be that missing link. And DC, right? We're in year 10, year 11 of education reform. So really, the changes that we're going to see, I think, are going to happen with the next generation coming up now. I know they've implemented more bilingual programming in schools, international programs, STEM programs, right? So really training the next generation for the economy that we're moving into. Technology, science, all of that stuff. Teaching kids how to code.
Right.
We got to make folks competitive, ensuring that they can speak more than one language. This is all the stuff that, we live in a global economy now, so.
Right.
Hi, good evening.
Hey. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh, you're welcome.
Nice, that looks good.
We'll get you some soy dishes.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's that's where the policymakers and the politicians come into place and the bureaucrats. But then on a private side, we need to create economic opportunity for our own, starting our own businesses.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Purchasing and buying homes in DC, making sure we have a stake in the city, owning property. If our family owns property, making sure that there's a succession plan, that we can pass it down, not necessarily sell it off. So, there's a couple different things that should be going on, that are going on, right? And, yes, thank you.
When we're talking about purchasing in DC, You think it's difficult to do that?
Yeah, certainly, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very expensive market. You know, you can go right up the street, right up the road to Baltimore, and you can get some really nice homes there for a fraction of the cost of DC.
Right.
And even anywhere around the country. When I went to Julian Castro's announcement in San Antonio, and the prices there were like, compared to DC, incredibly cheap, right? So yeah, of course, it's a challenging market. There are programs out there, I think definitely are for first-time home buyers, but I know there's a big initiative with the current mayor to build more affordable housing. But it's like you have to be very ambitious. I think she's ambitious with it. She said close to 30,000 units need to get built over the next 4, 5, 6 years.
Wow. That's very ambitious.
Very ambitious,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there's a huge demand, and so hopefully, the decision makers can figure that out and get it done quickly. We've got the money. DC has the money. By no means are we struggling. It all just boils down to the political will to get it done.
Speaking of political will, I almost feel as if I feel like that there's some sort of political life that you'll be a part of, right? So you're involved in consulting, but I just see a politician in you.
No.
And so, do you have any aspirations?
Not at the moment. I've served in a bunch of different capacities over the years. I've been appointed by 3 of the last 4 mayors on commissions and boards. I was an ANC commissioner. I was vice president of the Ward 4 Democrats. I ran for city council back in 2011.
Did you?
When I was 26.
Wow.
Yeah, 26.
What was that like?
That was a cool experience.
Okay.
I mean, there were 10 people who jumped in a race. It was a special election, 4-month race, citywide race.
Okay.
So it was amazing. I learned a lot of things. I learned a lot about just being a candidate, what that's like. That's why I just have the utmost respect for anyone, whether I grew with them or not, that jumps out there. It's definitely not easy. But moving forward, I kind of like being on the outside. I like, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I like to support good people. But no immediate plans to run for anything.
Yeah, I get to speak with Dion on Wednesday, and one of the things that she mentioned is how supportive you were of her, and it was Josh is great, man. I love Josh. Josh is great. And as I was, just having conversations at your birthday party and eavesdropping on some conversations, I heard that a lot. And you know what word I heard a lot too? Support. Why do you think people love you like they do?
I mean, when I love Dion, she's amazing. I think she's representative of a lot what I was talking about earlier. It's a Washingtonian, homeowner, business owner, someone who's been here for generations, her family, and she's here to stay. And so I was super excited about her candidacy. I was happy to support her. And I think she has a bright future ahead of her politically in the city. And look, it's hard to beat an incumbent. It's very difficult. But you stick at it, and I think, next go around, she definitely has a really good shot at it. She had an impressive campaign. She won Ward 7, Ward 8, and performed strongly in other wards as well. Close to 50,000 votes for a first-time candidate with no name recognition. It's incredible. But look, I think we have a moment in life where we can be, most impactful. And I think my calling is to just support good folks. I've learned a lot over the years. I've ran kind of the field strategy, 2 of the last 3 mayors who won.
Okay.
So just learning, the basic essentials, door knocking, organizing, and just spreading that to other folks.
I'm good as of right now.
Thank you. So yeah, I want to share that with good people that I believe in, and so I certainly believed in Dion, and the next folks, next generation, whoever once decides to run, I'd be happy to be there to support them as well. It's a bit of a responsibility I feel like I have, to just pass that along.
So beyond that, and why do people Why does everybody love Josh?
Really? Everybody?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I mean, you know, of course, if I'm at your party, there's going to be a lot of hype beasts, but for you, you know what I mean? Everybody at your party wants you to win, but besides that.
You know, I think I just have a very altruistic spirit of just like putting other people first, right? And, you know, it's something that I guess goes back to my upbringing with my mom. You know, it was like values that she instilled in me, and I just really believe in it. And I don't know, I just have a strong calling to social justice and equality and fighting against any level of discrimination and racism that, you know, we have to go through. And so I'm all about helping other folks, especially people I believe in. I don't know, it just kind of comes second nature.
Okay.
That's who I am, you know?
What are some projects that you're working on now?
Oh, tons of cool stuff. I'm working on an exciting restaurant that, you know, I can't say too much.
Okay.
But it'll, if all goes well, it'll go east of the river, right where we have a big food desert. And so we're looking at bringing a venue to east of the river that offers great food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, create kind of a sit-down environment where families and people can come to and really enjoy good food. So I think that's probably the most exciting, like, work-related project I'm working on in 2019. So fingers crossed. It happens. So I'll make sure you get, you know, the invite, of course, to the opening.
I love food and anything that has to do with it. Oh, I love that. Anything else? What else? Are you talking about before the end of the year? You're hopeful before the end of the year?
Yeah, 2019. Yeah, 2019. Absolutely.
Excellent. So we're talking about family and what type of food?
It'll be, I think, a mix. Of, yeah, a couple different. Yeah, I don't want to say too much.
Okay.
But it'll be good. It'll be good.
I'll keep my eyes out for it then. So, on a personal level, what do you want to do this year? What do you want to happen for yourself?
You know, just, you know, make sure I stay in good health and, you know, continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to make good friends, you know, just make my impact as a positive person. But I definitely see myself volunteering on a presidential election and just playing my part. Again, I want to write more. You know, hopefully I can publish some of my writings in local newspapers or even national publications. So I really want to do more to kind of just put my opinions and ideas out there more. I think I've got a lot to say. I've got a lot to offer. So yeah, that's it.
You got a lot to say, a lot to offer.
No real big ambitious plans for 2019.
Well, that's kind of ambitious. It's kind of is. Yeah, I'd say so. Speaking of staying in good health and all that good stuff, you triathlete?
Yeah,
tell me about that.
It's awesome. So triathlons, swimming, biking, and running. I actually grew up swimming competitively. I swam for DC's swim team, which is run by Parks and Rec.